Hi guys, Spectre here, welcome back to some more Total Warhammer 3. Continuing my 100 turn AI Headstart campaign of Llewellyn Leon Kerr.
Strength and honor.
Well, I found out today they rewrote some of his lore. Because his lore was originally, he was killed by his son, who'd been turned into a vampire. And then his son, the vampire, came out from the city as the Bretonnia army was getting ready to attack the city, and he issued a challenge. And the Green Knight showed up and cut down his son. And the Green Knight was brought back to life by the Lady of the Lake. And he helped fight in the end times alongside a Borash. But in the rewrite they've done of it, King Llewellyn Leon Kerr dies fighting Kugath Plaguefather. He actually kills Kugath Plaguefather, and then he dies to Festus, which is, I'm not being funny, it's a bit piss poor that he dies to Festus, because Festus can't fight for shit. He's a mutated doctor, he's not a fighter. But basically I think Festus poured some sort of acid all over him. He died rather painfully. And even when Vlad came up to chase off Festus's forces, Vlad apparently seemed sad for him, seeing Llewellyn Leon Kerr die, which is rather alarming in itself. But that's because Llewellyn went to fight alongside the Empire, because Gilles the Breton had been brought back from the dead and was sat upon the throne, and even Llewellyn bowed to him, which you would expect him to, because Llewellyn an honourable and pious man, and Gilles the Breton was the first king of Bretonnia. He founded the nation. And while I had my suspicions on it, because everyone says the Bretonians are French, because a lot of their names and stuff like that, King Llewellyn Leon Kerr was actually inspired by Richard the Lionheart, which was a British king, one of my country. So where I was trying to place the English, where I was thinking we were more like Norskans, Viking type starts, which you'd think would actually be more like the Danish or like Saxon sort of thing. Technically they've merged French and, I suppose, French and English into one with Bretonnia. Just obviously some of them might be more English based and some more French based. Oh god. But then you've also got places like Tilly, Maragliano. I mean, one of those could be French, but they probably end up being more like Italian, that sort of thing. Looks like the Chaos Dwarves are pushing in fucking hard there. Jesus. And if you guys are new around here, please drop a sub. Help grow the channel. Would really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to get out of the this cursed area. Because from what I've been told, there's like a it's like an urban myth. There's a curse where if you are between 250 and 399 subscribers, you're in this cursed zone where either you don't grow at all or you just grow extremely slowly, which the latter one is what's applying to me at the moment. I didn't know it was a thing. So apparently to break out of it, you've got to reach 400 subs. And then you've broken through the curse. But apparently a lot of channels just settle around that number because, for some reason, once you reach that number, the algorithms that pick up as much or something, whatever, I don't know. I don't know if it's true. I'm just basing it off some forums I've read and some videos I've looked at. It's like a little urban myth legend around YouTube which I didn't even know existed until today. I put up a poll as well on my
Spawn of Musilon.
No. I've put up a poll on my community tab, which is to ask which type of content my people enjoy more. The regular campaigns, the 100 turn Headstart campaigns, or basically both. And a lot have said both basically, but I'm going to do both anyway, because it essentially for me as a content creator, it doubles my content, because I can do regular campaign and 100 turn Headstart campaign side by side, do one and the other, and then any factions I've done the regular campaigns on, I can go back at some point and do the 100 turn Headstart version for that same faction. And the ones I've done the 100 turn Headstart on, like Bretonnia, like Skarsnik, then I can do a regular campaign for them as well. And I, obviously with this being like my primary game, and I'm coming towards like 5,000 hours across Warhammer 1, 2 and 3. I intend on playing it a lot, so I've got no problem going through the same faction twice. Just obviously, I want to make sure I space them out, so you're not getting me like, let's say, playing Manfred von Karstein, which I've already played, but then playing Manfred von Karstein again with the 100 turn Headstart, not many campaigns again later. So I want to make sure there's a decent gap. But I want to go through most Legendary Lords that I want to play that I haven't played already first. Then I'll go back and revisit the older ones. Then there'll be a big enough gap. And then I'll have some that have just got the 100 turn Headstart, and some that have just got a regular campaign. At the moment there's going to be a lot more that have had the regular campaign, obviously, because I've only just recently come up with this idea. But by the time I've gone through all of them, there'll be a lot more to choose from. And then I can do like Gorok was the first good guy campaign. I could do a 100 turn start of him. As the first evil guy was Archeon. I could do a 100 turn Headstart campaign of him. Although I don't like the idea of giving Kislev 100 turns to get ready. They're a pain in the arse at best of times anyway. And for some factions, the 100 turn Headstart is going to be very hard, if not impossible. Some will be really hard. Like one I'm almost certain I'm going to lose is Clan Mulder. I have got no idea how to possibly win that campaign. I mean, if I can show it on here. So you've got, where are we? Too far, here. So you've got this, that's technically a starting province. And you can conquer something adjacent. So you could do Prague, which is also its own settlement. You've got Fort Ostrosk and Fort Straghov. Not really worth taking them if they're both towns. And then you've got Lair the Troll King, Cracker Drak, and that I can't fucking pronounce. You've also technically got this. But again, that's like 3 towns. Unless this becomes a city for you, which I don't think it does, there's not a city in there. So your best adjacent option is probably that. Because you'll make a city out of that. You've got 2 towns here with one being a port. You've got gems there. And then if Kislev do come at you really hard, and you're going to lose Hell Pit, I suppose you can retreat to Cracker Drak. And then just try and retake Hell Pit at a later point. Because at least Kislev haven't got Underway. So they've got to either run all the way around here and come round this way, or run all the way around this way, where you can leap back and forwards. And they can't keep up with you. It's only thing I can think of to try and like save you in that campaign. That'll be a very, very hard campaign, some of those ones. But even then, I don't like the idea about playing Gorok and letting Skrulk get going. I like to take that Skrulk early on. Because letting Skaven get going, they have armies everywhere.
Your plan is a good one.
Priestess of the Lady.
Huh?
Yes?
Oh, that's his, isn't
What
it?
is your behest?
She got wounded.
I shall seek great relics.
Noble. Champion of the lady. Poles.
Move here.
King Luan Leoncoeur. My blade is ready.
Yeah, he's got that. I'm not worried about that. He ain't got enough to contend with me.
Luan Leoncoeur.
Paladin of Bretonnia.
Pious.
Keep a put on him.
King Luan. Valiant lords.
She hasn't got that honour. Take that off of Lonely on Kerr. Give it her. Might stop her getting assassinated.
Very well, if you insist.
Um, okay, on. Even Kislev losing auto resolve, that tells you how strong Chaos Dwarves are in auto resolve. So until Chaos Dwarves come along, pretty sure Kislev were the strongest auto resolving faction in the game, considering they could auto resolve my Throg army with an army that was probably 12 units of garbage and then 8 decent units. And it's like if they can auto-resolve with an army of garbage, what can they do if they're auto-resolving with a good army? That's the scary thing. So, but if you fight them, you can beat them. It just means you have to fight Kislev a lot because the auto-resolve is so ridiculously in their favour. It just needs toning down. And there's no reason for Kislev to auto-resolve you harder than the Empire, because they're still humans. They're no stronger, they're no faster, they're no better. And the Empire's got way more armies than Kislev, by a substantial fucking margin. The Kislev is a small country by comparison. The only thing that's unique to Kislev is they've got the ice magic. The big elemental base, something Sieve added in that wasn't in the lore, but then they do have Warbear Riders. But I would argue Demigryph Knights from the Empire are better than the Warbear Riders. I'd rather ride a Demigryph than ride a Warbear, personally. Demigryphs are badass. Jesus. See, this is what I'm worried about here as well. I'm seeing Chaos Dwarves coming up mountains here. Obviously, they've jumped onto mountains to fuck over, what's his face? to fuck over Cadrin. But I'm there as Skarsnik, and as I recently found out today, all the Chaos Dwarves have a 100 minus aversion to greenskins, because they primarily use greenskins as their slaves. They're not the only ones that they use. They use Norskins from some of their tribes, Skaven dwarves when they can get hold of them. You know, elves as well. They basically anyone. There was even a point where they captured Necromancer, and any slaves that died through the like almost constant working conditions, they get the Necromancer to revive them, and the Necromancer would then get the zombie or skeleton to start working tirelessly in place of the dead slave. And as long as the Necromancer didn't try and do anything stupid like create a uprising, he was allowed to live in relatively good condition. You know, they'd feed him, make sure he wasn't attacked or beaten or anything, and he just got to raise up the undead bodies they bring him and then set them to work. Grom must have lost his army. His power bar's gone to shit. Right, well, Grom's army's gone. I'm going to take out Kemler. I've got 2 pigs on my back and 3 if you include that fucking Horde faction. I need to get rid of one of the piggies. There's too many piggies. Oh, bloody hell was that? Don't tell me that was Vashnar's conquest as well. What is this? Abominations. Right, it's not. The worst thing is that annoys me is these are in the game as a Horde army, but they recruit like Chaos used to recruit, and they can recruit chosen with halberds straight away, which is actually stronger than the current recruitment options of Chaos, because you've got to take Aegis level units up to get them to chosen.
Cleanse our land.
He wants to fight out in the open. Our person would have thought he would have retreated. I can auto-resolve all that. Think about what? So this is the garrison, which has got a lot of Graveguard in it, and some Black Knights. And this is the army. 2 heroes, some more Graveguard, fuckload of Hex Wraiths, but they're not going to really, I suppose, do much. I mean, maybe they could. Crypt Horrors and Black Coaches, I don't really, well, they're anti-infantry for a start. I ain't got any fucking infantry. Why are these still here? Didn't I just kill all these? Nah, I don't need it. I've got loads of money. I know sacking will just end up giving me a fucking negative trait that I can't get rid of. We don't need that piece of shit. I'll keep both of those. It's got that.
Blessings of the lady be upon you. My strength and wisdom are yours. Onward! Lord of Bretonnia. My reputation precedes me.
Get his army a little bit bigger. Need his core units first, which is for him,
Protector of the
his
realm.
Grail Knights and Grail Guardians. And then I can sort out his flyers after.
By the light of the lady, I am the blood of Gilles.
Um,
Ready to serve. Going forth.
Armored in faith.
and since he appears not to be able to do agent actions, I could keep him in that army. But if I'm going to keep him in there, I'll use him to replace one of the Grail Knights. So if I normally have 6, I'll have 5. Since I can't use him to replace a flyer because he don't fly, flying's a utility, a very important utility. I would argue it's an even more important utility now than it was in the previous two, because now you've got the interior towers you can build. Flyers are good for destroying them, keeping them down. Because Because in most cases you've only got to destroy them once, and the battle will usually be over before they can build them again. Or you can take the location so they can't build them again. Fucking wood elf. Other day on Skarsnik, Jesus Christ. Fucking wood elves from Cathay. I must have had a 20-25 turn march to get to where I were as Skarsnik. To then go for the tree that the goblins nearby used to inhabit. But Wurzag had destroyed them and razed it to the ground. And then they got there, occupied it, and then turned after Scrag slaughtered them. He killed their army and then blew up the tree again. Made it a ruin. Nobody wants it because it's red. If it was orange, I'd occupy it. I'll always occupy orange, I just won't occupy red. But see, I think some factions have got too many greens. Like some, like Chaos 12, have got all green. They can apparently inhabit anywhere. But then some have got too many reds. Like the Bretonnians can't occupy much in terms of theirs. They've got a very limited area of what they can and can't occupy. Obviously, in terms of like the AI though, they don't really care about like minus control in their provinces. And even though they won't get much money from occupying in red, they'll do it anyway. Because then they can spawn armies from there. They get massive upkeep reduction, so it won't matter. But a player can't. For a player to occupy red, it's stupid. It'll cost you more than you'll make. Because you've got all the negatives to consider. Well, for me, what's the negatives in orange? It show me. So the income from buildings there is only 15%. So you still get 85% of the income. But when it's red, it's not good. Red's minus 50. So you're getting half your income. So it's the equivalent of having a Skaven plague forever. It's a Skaven plague all the time. Because a Skaven plague halves your income. So you're losing as much as you're making. It's just not worth ever occupying red. Ooh. The hungry slop bottler. Sounds lovely. Oh, they've got Aquitaine. I thought I'd got rid of him.
Do you wish the lady's favor?
Zephyr Enchantress, what does she want? No. She's too weak. She's too weak for me to justify it.
King of Bretonnia.
Gotta stay in there one more turn. Just get my units fully recovered.
Lord and hero. You seek counsel?
Pure of heart.
You don't get any penalties at all doing these ones. But like that, what do I get? -3 control, plus 50% construction cost for all buildings. So your buildings are basically almost doubled in price. Total replenishment rate -15%, so your units are going to recover like shit. Growth -7, so it's hard to grow. Construction 10 plus 100%, so that actually is doubled. Recruitment duration +1 turn, that's for your units, so they're going to take longer to recruit if you recruit there. And then income for buildings -50%. There'd be no reason to occupy a region like that. I mean, for me, the income alone is bad enough. If I do like here, for example, that's -1 control, that's down from 3, so on a -1, that's not bad. Construction cost plus 30% for buildings, that's still quite steep. You can reduce it by 10% with your commandment if you get the full territory, so, but it's still going to be plus 20%. Casualty replenishment rate -8%, armies in region. It's a little bit of a reduction, but if you've got your heroes and stuff in there, it's not bad. Or just don't recover units in that particular territory. Construction time plus 50% for settlement buildings. It's not 100%, but it's not as bad. And then income from more buildings -15%. So as I said, you're still getting 85% of your income. So you're still getting the lion's share. And if you don't occupy orange, there won't be much territories for you to occupy, in all honesty. So you kind of need to in some cases. But at least you don't get like the other negatives. That gets more negatives on it, doesn't it, as well? You get like the recruitment duration on there as well, the growth. You don't have those on the orange. The construction time is literally fucking doubled. Construction cost has got another 20% on. Cash replenishment rate's almost doubled. And then income goes from -15 to -50. It's like, no. It's just not worth it. It's really, really not.
Never. You seek the lady's favor.
And these haven't got a lot on these, have they? Yeah, these only got 3 suitable, which is shit. Temperate, Savannah, and Desert. For then Unpleasant, it's Magical Forest, Mountain, Temperate Island, and Jungle. Now see, if Temperate is green, Temperate Island should also be green. Why would that be orange? It's just temperate and it's an island. The other 3 being green, fair enough. But the 3 being orange, sorry, should I say. But the temperate island should be green. Because they have got a very, very small amount. It's not good.
You ask for a boon.
And see, although it might be worth it for me to maybe go north and destroy Baelakor, so he can't keep sending armies at me, and it eliminates that legendary lord, I'm not going to be occupying that territory. And all that's going to happen is another Norseman is going to come along, or another Warriors of Chaos faction, and occupy that shit anyway. It might just be worth keeping an army in my starting province, and then if they come down to attack me, literally just farm them for XP, money, and magical items. And then just keep one army basically there. So attack with one, leave one on defence. If I can eventually afford a third army, the third army can stay there and the second army can come off and attack as well. And then I ain't got to worry about going to deal with Baelakor. So at the moment he's not a problem for me, he's a problem for the High Elves. Now although they are my allies, they've also got a lot more armies than me, they can go and deal with them. They have the ability to do so, they're just choosing not to. Actually, what I could do... got an idea.
My life for Tor Ifres.
What? Oh, he's not. Why aren't you at war with them? Aren't they attacking your shit? Bellend.
Alariel the Everqueen.
What? No way. She's definitely at war with him. He's been attacking her stuff all the time.
Queen of Avalon.
She's at war with him, he's right there. I don't understand.
Duty is purpose.
And so's Eltharion. He's at war with him.
At your service.
And so's Tyrion.
Alariel the Radiant.
Is it because they're saying they're not at war with his vassals or some shit? Then again, that point... I don't get it. I'm guessing the system must have broke already.
Everqueen
Surprise, surprise
of
that the
Alfwan.
war coordination system's broken. Oh, it's because it's on Kislev, even though I'm on Avalon. Maybe do it right? Might be good. This target is a fucking oh, because he's not at war with the vassal somehow. How aren't you at war with the vassal? There we go. I'll send them to go and deal with it instead.
Champion of the lady.
Honor and duty. Yes. With haste.
Do not mistake me for a fool.
King Lewin. coals.
I'd rather eat a squeak.
I will see it done.
My influence is weak.
By the light of the lady. Smite them!
I knew he'd only have shit. Good. These all revived again except 2. Oh no, we did die. That's what I was hoping. If it was in defense of a city, it'd probably just die off.
I am the blood of Gilles.
Don't want either of those, they're terrible.
For now, yes.
Yeah.
I share the forest's thoughts. Yes, ready! There is much to discuss.
It is time. Come forth, men of fair Bretonnia. Cadrin welcomes you.
Domgrong!
He's strength rank 5 with 28 settlements. Good God, he's dominating down bottom
Oh,
in this campaign.
make it snappy, I've got work to do.
Who's he at war with? Most of the bad guys apart from Tic-Tac-Toe.
Oathbound! True king!
How would I be a strategic threat to him? I'm nowhere near him.
The Knights of Bretonnia.
Fire!
I understand. There are important matters to consider.
Fucking 52 grand, you're high. It's -4.
Miaoying. Our ancient born to rule.
Treaties with Laurelorn.
What news do you bring to the...
Huh? See him, I'll happily give treaties to Monday, but he's got to be at peace with Bordelot Errant and the Hunts Marshal. I'm not having it risk relations over here when he's other side at Bleeding World.
Sigmar. The Empire is beset on all sides by the savage and the unholy, but you are most welcome.
It is time. Hail to you.
The Empire. Greetings from... need me?
Treaties with the Ice Court, -27.
The woods of Athelloren welcome you.
I say it's
Deliver your
just
message.
gone south. What have you idiots done? Oh, it's these here, innit?
Lord of the Come! The beauty of Athelloren is seldom seen by outsiders.
Orders, welcome to the halls of Athelloren. What do you want?
Look, I'm going to check this with these three, just not the med ones, but I don't think they've got any territory outside anyway, so we should be fine.
No.
And the ones by me is Orion's people. Some good shark movies coming out this year as well. And there's a sequel to that film, The Meg. There's The Meg the Trench. And there's also one called The Black Demon. The Black Demon I've got a personal interest in because I know it's like a Mexican urban myth sort of thing. About a giant, like, 35 to 50 foot shark. Now, there's been stories about it for years. It's been the odd photo. Usually they're quite blurry, kind of like Bigfoot. Obviously because it's something in the water, you're only looking like a dorsal fin or something or whatever. Maybe odd mouth. But it could just be another really big great white shark. I probably doubt 50 feet. You might get a 30 foot great white out there because they've got a submarine off the southern coast of Africa. He's rumoured to be like a 29 foot great white shark. He's supposed to weigh like in the neighbourhood of like 4 or 5 tons. So that's a bloody big animal. But he's also got a dietary change in submarine. He targets people as opposed to animals. Where like his primary food source. But But then they had the same problem with that big crocodile. It's still alive, I think, in Africa. There's a film based off it called Rogue, and it's supposed to have killed over like 200 people up and down the river that he exists in. And the reason he's so big and so massive is because there was a civil war on both sides of the river, and a lot of dead were just getting chucked into the river. So things like this crocodile had like a really rich supply of food and didn't really have to work for it. So was able to get very big, very fat, and was fed very well. And now they basically created a killer croc that's got a taste for human flesh. So they've basically created their own monster. They've tried to kill it over the years. They've thrown grenades at it. They've shot it with assault rifles and machine guns of variety. But its hide on its back is that tough, it won't pierce. And obviously it can easily get away by just going into the water. Makes me wonder what they're going to do as well with the Naga, when they bring the Naga into this, because they're going to be a I suppose living moisturised forest sort of things, like heavy moisture area, but they're going to be highly aquatic as well. So it makes me wonder what they're going to be like in terms of their abilities, because they're going to be on the hinterlands of Kuresh, along with the Monkey King. Because there's an Old One temple there, isn't there, called the Lost City of the Old Ones, right in the middle of the hinterlands of Kuresh jungle. But I know it used to belong to lizardmen. I'm not sure if the lizardmen on that continent anymore, because they left to go to Austria. But I'm pretty sure that one's controlled either by Savage Oaks or Skaven. What the hell is this? Look at that. There's no purples on there, is there? No, okay. That's what? It's got wood. Still looks a resource, isn't it? Because while we need that, we don't necessarily need this. Although saying that now, because I can take that and that. I've got all the stuff that I need, haven't I? Yeah, we should be good. Border low though. Fucking hell, what's this? Corruption in adjacent provinces -3, corruption -4. Shrine to Manan. Those Bretonnian subjects who worship the vengeful sea god must do so in secret, as in some quarters even uttering his name can mean summary execution. That's kind of weird considering that the lord of the entire city worships it openly. Okay, weird. Well, makes more sense than that one anyway. That one just gives you -2 corruption, which you get from this. And then it gives you 2 foot squires. Unlocking recruitment foot squires, which are crap. Because it's coastal, it's likely to come under attack, so we'll build that as well. We can't take that because wood elves are knobheads.
On to victory! My deeds are legend. Onwards for Bretonnia.
I'll take Montfort, I can take Paravon. I can't take Quinelles unless someone else takes it off them, but maybe I can trade for it later. Same with Aquitaine. I mean, that's Fingers people, isn't it? Mr. Wood Elf Man.
Shield of the mighty Deepwood welcomes you beneath its bower.
He'd trade it for 81,000. Jesus. I can't declare war against any of theirs because apparently I'm at war with them all already. Yep. Think about it, I'm not a war for a am I? Oh, I am. One person that's not attacked me yet is Wolfric. Or Throg, though, to be fair. Ugh. I want to get rid of this fucking rogue army. I don't want to be facing any more chaos bleeding chosen down here.
Yes?
Well, that's my last Grail Guardian to then need. If I recruit him, that's the last Grail Knight that I need. Then I need 2 more of these boys, and then I need 3 Royal Pegasus Knights which can replace these. But at least I won't need the full maximum amount, because they cost 275, so I need like, what, 125 more to get them. It's not too bad.
Blessings of the Lady be upon you.
Right, what I'll do is, I'll leave this part here. I've got to claim Montfort next. Work my way around here. I mean, Paravon's at least a city, and it's got marble in there as well, so I've got another luxury resource, unless they claim it. And then I can try and work down here. At some point, I can maybe try and work on trading for these, unless somebody attacks them and destroys them, and then I can just take them off them. And then I need to get rid of Grom. And then to see where we're at. I mean, where are we at now? Let's have a look at which conditions. We've only been dead a long time. So I've got 7 out of 30. So I'm not quite a third of the way there. A third of the way there would be 10. So if I've occupied this stuff here, and I think most of this stuff here is okay, isn't it? Skaven stuff, yeah, I can take this. I can come round here and fight. Ickit Claw, take all this shit. One problem I've got to be careful of though is That's classed as Chaos Wasteland? Well, I'd have to destroy that, not occupy it. But, yeah, I've got to be careful of his nuke. That terrifies me. And in very hard, they build more than one. Very hard legendary, they build more than one nuke. In easy through to hard, they only have one nuke. And they generally save it for the player. Unless you are an evil faction. Once you get a defensive or military alliance, they will use it on an AI. Now, as far as I'm aware, they will rebuild a nuke on the lower difficulties, but they'll only ever have one at a time. Where I think the maximum you can get with Ikit is like 7 or 8 nukes. And in very hard legendary, they will build up to the cap if they're able to do so. So, obviously they won't use 8 in one battle. They'll only ever use 1. But if you have 8 battles in a turn against them, they might use 1 nuke in each battle. If they have the capacity on them. So that's what's bloody scary about Ikit faction. But at least, I suppose, it's not Deathmaster's faction. They can't actually wipe you out by activating an ability and just killing your faction leader. Apparently they can use that now against other AIs, but they can't use it against the player for obvious reasons. Otherwise, there's no counter to it. The only way to counter that would be to wipe out Clan of Shin, but it wouldn't be possible if you're like the other side of the goddamn world. And they can get bloody strong as well. Right, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like. If you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub. And I will catch you all in the next video. Take care everyone and have a great day, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.